think we are going live. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and germs, good morning. Thomas Dimitrovich here. And I am, it's Tuesday. It is Technical Tuesday. Technically, it's Technical Tuesday. And I am coming down off of a very bad 4 or 5 days of allergy, sinus infection, ear infection. I had a fever of 102, took the COVID test, and COVID came back negative. So it was that bad that I thought I had COVID. I was laid up and out for the count, hallucinating. I was seeing receptacles and breakers and fuses walking through the rooms. No, I was watching code change on the pages as I was reading it. It was tough, but we made it through, and I'm on the other end of whatever allergies that I had. So, yeah, Nihad, you and I are going to talk hopefully this morning. So I just needed to tell everybody out here that I know what you all are going to be doing today at 12 o'clock Eastern. 12 o'clock Eastern at on IAEI's YouTube site. Jeez, excuse me. This is going to be a tough IAEI News Live because, man, I'll tell you, allergies just kill me. Can't vet away from breakers and receptacles. No, I can't. So, today at 12 o'clock Eastern, we're going to have a manufacturer on the IAEI's YouTube channel who is going to be bringing, hey, Kristen, who's going to be bringing some technology to the marketplace that I think you might be interested in. So you got to check out IAEI News Live. And remember to subscribe to that YouTube channel and make that happen. Now, another thing, Jody Wages, the Jody Wages sent me an email this morning to remind me or let me know that there is an opportunity for inspector members. So this is an opportunity for inspector members on UL 514A. Now, UL 514A, I'm going to just do it because I don't know what the heck. What is UL 514A? On 514A. All right, so UL 514A is the UL standard for safety metallic outlet boxes. So the UL standard for safety metallic outlet boxes, there is an opportunity for an inspector member to sit on the standard technical panel. The acronym for that, because we are in the electrical industry, is STP. So UL 514A governs the metallic outlet boxes. And as an inspector member who would sit on this standard, what you would be expected to do. Now, I'm a standards technical panel member myself on a couple other standards, not this one, but I'll tell you sort of what happens on as a technical panel member. What will happen is you'll get anytime there may be changes to the standard, and in many cases, these technical panels aren't like NFPA where we get together 2 or 3 times, twice, once or twice in probably the same year or during a code cycle. A lot of the work that's done on these technical panels is done electronically. You'll get an email with suggested changes. And in some cases, you might have phone calls that you might need to sit in on. But you help review suggested changes for the standards that govern these products, which are performance standards. So they're basically the product itself, before it's released for sale from a manufacturer, has to pass certain tests. This standard, this is a lot of work, trying not to cough. Man, allergies are terrible, and spring is the worst time of year for me. So this standard creates, they're not prescriptive. What they do is they create performance tests. A good example of a performance test would be, I just got a new iPhone. Okay, just got a new iPhone. So a performance test for an iPhone might be that you hold it above the desk so many inches and drop it. And then you run some tests to make sure you didn't damage it to a point that it could hurt somebody, right? So it's a safety standard. So the performance part of it is you create a test that the product has to go through, and then subsequent tests have to show that it didn't create a safety hazard. So there is an opportunity for an IAEI position, the International Association of Electrical Inspectors, IAEI. If you are an IAEI member and you are an inspector member, you have an opportunity to partake into the festivities of UL 514A for safety metallic outlet boxes. Tell me, if talking outlet boxes isn't the most exciting thing that you have ever heard. I mean, think about it. Metallic square boxes could be in your life, and you could have a say in the testing of those solutions. All right, so I wanted to make sure I shared that this morning, and I'll share that again this afternoon. This afternoon at 12 o'clock, we're going to have a manufacturer who is bringing a new product to the market, or has brought a new product to the market, and it's related to the arc fault circuit interrupter. We will have representatives from that manufacturer, which I'm not going to tell you because you need to tune in to see who it is. And we're going to be talking AFCIs, a topic I know each and every one of you loves. And you know what this month is? This is Electrical Safety Month, and I'm already halfway through, and I haven't had Shock Week. And I tell you the truth, the way I'm feeling right now, I don't know if I'm going to have Shock Week this month. I missed the NICA Safety Conference, which is occurring right now, which I should have been at, but I was sick. And I might be able to do Shock Week next week. I don't know. But I'm just saying that we've got to be thinking about electrical safety. Now, another resource for you, if you go to Eaton's website, eaton.com, you go to eaton.com. I'll put the whole URL in here, www.eaton.com/for safety sake. Okay. It's a blog. And I'll tell you what I like about this blog. Teach. There it is. All right. So this is the Eaton for Safety's Sake blog. I want you to remember this, and I want you to go out there and check it out. I'll have to go on to I'm going to do that over here. I'll come over to my LinkedIn site, because for some reason, whenever I post, and I'm going to get Eaton for Safety's Sake blog. There we go. All right. Hey, Kristen Summers. Oh, Kristen, you'll like this link too. Eaton.com/for safety sake. Get out there to, hopefully I spelled that right. For safety sake. I don't think there's an S. www.eaton.com/for safety sake. Perfect. For safety sake, go out there and check out this blog because there are some really good topics out there for discussion. And as we move into, hey, Rafael Valesco, thanks for joining. And I know I've had some people email me and say, hey, how come you weren't, where was Q&A Friday and all that jazz? And well, I got sick. So microgrids. As we move into the Electrical Safety Month, ESFI is focusing on your renewables, your renewable energy. Dave Mercier. Oh, is that right? So David, all right. So David tells us, remember our discussion about UL 514A. I did not know this, David. He says, as with any good organization, we, because David works for UL, will begin using technical committee instead of standards technical panel, STP. Wow, that's big news, David. Thanks for letting me know. That's very interesting. So I like that. I like that, and the reason I like that is because it is a technical panel and or a technical committee, and I like that you are changing that the name or terminology associated with that group of individuals. Thanks for that. I see you got a Batman in your I think that's what that is in your emoji. All right, everybody. So, Electrical Safety Foundation International, ESFI, hosts this Safety Month annually, and May is an important month. You know, it's all about moms. It's all about Mother's Day, all that great stuff. It's the month of Mary, and for those of you who are Catholic out there, but from a resilient, from a safety perspective, this is the month that we think about electrical safety. And ESFI's focus this year is around renewable energy. There's a lot going on with electric vehicles. I don't know if you've seen the advertisements. I believe Ford is out there talking about, and other manufacturers, about new electric vehicles and being able to power, not take power, but also give power back to the grid and back into the home. So there's a lot of stuff going on in regard to renewable energies, photovoltaics, wind, energy storage systems, which if I think about an electric vehicle, it's an energy storage system, you know, if you think about it. So we have some really good articles out here and blog posts from very smart individuals at Eaton, and Robert Chrysalis is the senior microgrid application engineer with our Eaton organization, talking about resilience, microgrid weather resilience codes and standards, prioritizing electrical safety and cybersecurity. That's another big topic that we're going to see more of in the 2023 version of the National Electrical Code, as well as NFPA 72, I think it is, fire alarms and signals. All right, David, thank you. See, since I approve, I give you my blessings. Go and sin no more. So excellent. So David says he's going to move forward now that I have said it's okay. So cool beans. Thank you, David. Safely connecting solar PV to electrical systems. Who wrote this one? Let's take a look at it. So on each of these, you can click on the resources. This is Larry Connor. Larry's a great guy. Just was with him last week in Atlanta, Georgia. And Jaska Tarka, both of those individuals. I mean, these are top-notch individuals that work on these renewable energy systems on a daily basis. They work on, I'd say globally, right? So there's a lot going on. There's Larry and there's Jaska. These individuals, and I think Jaska was not in Atlanta last week. All the different, you'll see the NEC references, talking about peak power and connecting and safety, etc. So great resource that you should get out there and subscribe to. It's free. I mean, knowledge is important. There's, I remember growing up, my mom used to tell me and my dad used to tell me, they could take a lot from you. They could take your car. They could take your house. They could take your land. They could take a lot of things from you. But what you got up here, they can't take away from you. So absorb, be a sponge, and learn what you can. And this is knowledge that is free. So please take advantage of it. Energy transition with electrical safety, grid interconnected safety standards, low carbon future, get in the zone for safety safety in hazardous areas. If you're in HAZLOC locations, hazardous areas, so you're a petrochem facility or whatnot, this guy, I'm telling you what, rock star right here. He's been on my channel. He did presentations. I tell you what, there are some people that you watch present technical topics and you think, wow, that was a good job, right? That was a good job. But Mr. Potter is absolutely a rock star. And if you ever have an opportunity to be in the audience while this guy is talking about hazardous locations, you're blessed. You are absolutely blessed. Be a sponge, because this individual has taught me, I will openly confess, my weakest area of knowledge is hazardous locations. I create a lot of hazardous locations, but I don't know that much about them. We invited Robert to the West Virginia chapter of the IAEI for a presentation and discussion on hazardous locations. And, he knocked it out of the park. Everybody, there were great questions. He's not only very knowledgeable about the product, he is knowledgeable about the codes and the standards. He takes the technical and he makes it relatable. People laugh whenever I come up with my analogies. And I come up with analogies for a reason, because it brings technical topics down to earth. One of my analogies that seemed to resonate was my explanation of short circuit current ratings and trying to help people understand what an SCCR rating is for equipment. And I related it to a weightlifter. And we did a program on Eden in fact, it's one of these blog items, and there's a video out there on YouTube. And I've included it in many of my presentations, and a lot of people like the analogy because it's easy to understand. This guy is amazing, absolutely amazing. So if you ever, and he's out of a specific area. So I believe he's out of New York, and if you haven't figured it out yet, I think he's an awesome guy. Now, Richard Holum is another great individual. Now, Rich is works for, I believe it's, I don't want to make the mistake of the name. He works for a very large petrochem. He's on NFPA documents. I believe he's on the correlating committee. He's very detail-oriented individual. And when with the mixture of these two individuals on a blog, I don't know what to say. You've got to get out and read this material. And especially if you're like me, a novice when it comes to hazardous locations. You will learn a lot from Mr. Potter and Holum, Richard Holum. Let's take a look. So he's in the Eastern region region field application specialist with our Kraus-Heinz business. So Eastern, so I believe it's like in the New York area, all that good stuff. And Richard is DuPont. I want to make sure I got it right. He is DuPont. So he works out at DuPont and Wilmington, Delaware. Great individuals, very smart individuals, and you will learn a lot on Haslock from those people that live and breathe it on a daily basis. But it's one thing to live and breathe something on a daily basis. It's another thing to understand it enough to be able to teach it. And these two individuals, rock stars, absolute rock stars. Then there's healthcare, and this has to be, it's got to be my buddy. Yep, Justin Caron. And we are working together. We're going to be doing something with ASHI. We're working on a presentation. We're working on the life cycle. You know, Justin made a very good point about healthcare. And healthcare hospitals, his term was they are living, breathing buildings in more ways than one. He's absolutely right. If you think about a hospital, a lot of times a lot of hospitals are connected with universities. They change considerably over their life. The power distribution systems will grow and they'll shrink. They'll add wings, fly away. No, but it's amazing how a hospital is not a type of a structure that just sits and doesn't experience change over its life cycle. They see a lot of change over its life cycle. So Justin, myself, and a few others are working on a presentation and materials that are being shared throughout the ASHI community association, healthcare engineers, association. I want to make sure I get this right. It's the American Society for Healthcare Engineering, ASHI. Wow. So I want to make sure I'm accurate there. So we start with the design process, and we talk about, and it's safety related. Okay, we talk about everything that needs to be considered in the design process. That if you think, when you think about a structure, anything that we do, there are certain decisions that you make that if you didn't make the decision, if you didn't elect to do something early on in the design, it will never happen, right? Because either it becomes impossible to make that happen, or it becomes cost prohibitive to make that happen. So there are some critical decisions that need to be made in the design process. We talk about those. We talk about the construction phase and installation, all of the decisions that need to be made and aspects of construction that pertain to safety for that structure over its life cycle. Excuse me. And then we move into the longer term, the maintenance, ongoing maintenance of the facility. And we hit aspects of that are important at each of those design phases, or each of those phases of a structure, that from a design engineer, an installation, an owner, especially the owner, has to understand some of these key decisions, because they may want to influence the decisions at the various stages, and they want to be aware of what the decisions are and what they're being made, because they impact the future of that installation. So Justin Caron and I and a few others that work in the healthcare industry, we worked together to pull together a resource, a series of articles, a series of presentations that educate on that life cycle of a healthcare facility. very important, which I got to go see. I managed to get out there to an urgent care and go see my doctor and whatnot. Once I started to feel bad and started to get a fever, and it's amazing when you need those resources to make sure that they are there. All right, so Electrical Safety Month is this month. Today at 12 o'clock, you will be tuning in to IAEI News Live. Salute. And we are going to be talking about arc fault circuit interrupters, new technology that's probably going to save you time and money. I'm sure that manufacturer is going to want to share as much of that information. We're going to talk a little bit about the history of AFCIs, the changes that have occurred, when they were instilled. We'll talk a little bit about what's coming down the pike in 2023. Power plant ash handling system controls upgrade. Really old stuff mixed with new. Excellent. Wow, I'll tell you what. Ash handling system. There's a Haslock location, huh? Wow. You know, and that's a challenge. Whenever you're working on a project where you have a existing and you're bringing in new solutions and you're melding the two technologies together, you've got old wiring practices and old wiring rules, and you're bringing in new wiring practices and new wiring rules. You know, how do you, there's probably things you're looking at that, that you go, oh my gosh, I can't believe they used to do it this way, you know? So I'm sure that there's a lot of stuff that you're seeing. And you know what? You got to bring some pictures. Send me some pics. I'd like to see some of that really old stuff mixed with some new. That would be kind of cool. NHZXBOI in the house. All right. Okay, listen. Although would love to sit around and chat a lot more, my throat is starting to tickle. The coffee is running short, and I do have to get back to work. So this is my first time going live in a little bit here, primarily because I was sick and traveling, but I'm back on track. I'm starting to feel better. So thank you. And hopefully we will be able to get hopefully we'll be able to get Shock Week kicked off and do our 2-hour sessions again like we did last year and the year before. I don't know that we did a Shock Week last year. But I want to do one this year. And if I miss May and I'm into June, so what? We'll carry Electrical Safety Month every month, right? Okay, everybody. Thank you. Thanks for what you guys and gals do for electrical safety. Thanks for what you do for the electrical industry. And I will see you today at 12 o'clock Eastern. Thanks. Stay safe. And you too, NHZX boy, when you've got your fingers in that old stuff, be safe. Signing off. Wrong button, wrong time. See you at 12.